For joining me for today's presentation. My name is Adrian Moise, and I'm the founder of CEO of Equilibrium. And today I'm going to share with you some of our insights regarding to the future use of XR for enterprise. I'll start by offering a quick introduction about both Equilibrium and myself. So Equilibrium, we are one of the top 5 digital agencies from British Columbia in Canada. Our headquarters is in Vancouver, but we have an international workforce. What we do is, our vision is to enrich people's life, and we do that by crafting amazing, remarkable experiences. We focus on digital transformation, helping our clients to use technology to differentiate and strive and grow. We've been recognized not only for our technology work, but also for our design skills. And we won a number of Vancouver UX awards for product design and development. In terms of the client base, we work in different industries, from financial services to retail to entertainment and gaming. And companies of different sizes. We work with startups that had a kind of back of a napkin idea about the product to some of these largest companies in the world with hundreds of billions of dollars on the assets, on the management. Oftentimes we work in a regulated environment, such as healthcare, financial services, institutions that take a lot of care about regarding the confidentiality, the privacy, the transfer of information, the data that's being captured. Quickly about my background, I've been in the technology space for over 20 years, working both on the product side, but also on leading the delivery team of some of the largest digital agencies. Blast Radius used to be the largest independent digital agency in Canada before it was purchased a number of years ago. I love entertainment and gaming. I started my career as a lead game developer for Ubisoft, then became a development director at Electronic Arts. And some of the clients I had the opportunity to work with are also in this entertainment and gaming space, such as Bioware and Nintendo and Pokemon. But I work in other product organizations. And my background, as I mentioned, technical, as a lead game developer and then architect, move after that into project management and then business. My PhD is in human-computer interaction and usability. So for Equilibrium, I look to bring together the concept of strategy, design, and technology to craft these amazing experiences that enrich people's lives. So when I think about how to use XR effectively, I'm looking beyond this type of marketing, type of propaganda. Oh, look, we can use VR for our purposes, because most of the experiences that people have today working on regular computer screens on your mobile can be translated into some form of XR. That being said, the fact you can have an XR version of your application doesn't mean you should have one. So instead, I'm going to share with you a bit of a personal experience. A number of years ago, I had the opportunity to join the Electronic Arts team as one of the 5 leaders who started the mobile gaming division. At that time, the Nintendo DS and the Sony PlayStation Portable were coming up. And why Electronic Arts was the world leader in creating these amazing gaming experiences that you see on your large TV screens in your living room. Nobody had any experience creating software and games and entertainment for mobile devices, which were just coming out and emerging. So we went from a handful of people to 120 people in just 6 months. And I was responsible for this user experience. And the idea was not to take whatever is displayed on the big screen and shrinking 20 times to fit on a mobile device, but to think from the ground up, what are these mobile devices good for? What kind of experiences are people looking to have on the mobile devices? They're looking into, okay, devices are good for camera, for texting, for chatting, for social media. So how do we craft these games that are mobile first? So similar, if we look right now, at XR, we need to think about what are some unique characteristics of these devices, and then what kind of problems are they good at solving, agnostic to the industry that we're talking about. So if you think about VR, when you put a goggle on, you have an amazing field of view. It's also a private screen. So imagine you can look at confidential information. You don't have to worry about other people seeing the same information that you're seeing at that time. And you have this ability to see something that you're focusing on, like in real life, while having the peripheral vision to give you context. But this multisensory immersive experience is not just using video. Audio is very important. And for example, spatial audio is extremely valuable. It's like giving you a sense that if you interact with somebody in a virtual world, that that person is close to you and in that direction. So really, speech sounds like it's actually coming from the direction of the person you're talking to, which is what you used to in doing normal physical interaction. The other aspect is this type of sensory senses augmentation. It's not just about the haptic devices and controllers, because you see that even on the exports on the PlayStation 5, but also you have gloves that give you a sense of feel and touch. You also can have this vest that can create haptic feelings and vibrations. Like you can play a shooter game and then you can actually feel like somebody actually shot you on the side or in the back. Or you can get these helmets that can give you a sensation you got to blow out the head to say somebody, poked you with a stick. The other thing is an additional sense that it can be brought in, a sense of smell, and all these memories that it can invoke. Imagine about childhood experiences and the smell of the freshly baked cookies from your grandma, or the smell of coffee that was just being brewed at a coffee shop. So overall, in VR, you can get a really multisensory experience. And why this is valuable is because it can make you like live the similar emotions that in the context of a real life experience, piloting a fighter jet or being at a steering wheel of a Formula One car, or being into a rescue mission. The Army, has invested billions of dollars into XR because they feel like it can create this type of, real situations that their soldiers will experience, and then they want them to be used with that and be able to react under that pressure, as opposed to that being for the first time when they're exposed to this type of stimuli. So overall, here's the spectrum of environments where XR can be used in the enterprise. On the left, you see example of how Boeing is using XR for training. They have, for example, technicians who are assembling and creating these electrical connections, harnesses for their planes. And when their experience is augmented using this VR headsets, the technicians sees basically how to make these connections, get these schematics just in time, just in context. They make fewer mistakes and they manage to finish their task 40% faster, a significant increase in productivity and reduction in error rate. Immense amounts of data coming from this type of engine turbines. To see all that information, how to go from large information to actually seeing insights. How is this actionable? How a manufacturer of engine, aircraft engine, can actually be proactive and figure out based on the consumption, based on the sensory information, when to be proactive about the maintenance, as opposed to waiting for that part to become defective. They have to ground the plane and then incur all this extra cost. I'm a big fan of Formula One. And especially with the pandemic, man, what kind of changes we have seen in terms of the Formula One. And all I can tell you is the last season has been absolutely phenomenal. And for people who are looking for the next Netflix installment of the Formula One. It's about to come up actually on Friday, so really looking forward to that. But the point I'm trying to make is Formula One has limited the amount of real track time that a Formula One team can get. So the teams, in order to test the cars, to test the new parts, what they are looking to do is to use this amazingly fine-tuned VR simulator to try new tracks in different conditions in terms of weather condition, in terms of is it raining, is it at night? And then all these body parts that are coming from the factory can actually be tried just before the race. And the experience is so immersive that the driver really felt the same kind of physical and mental stress that they experienced during a real race. Here's an example from this company called Virtualytics on how they bring a lot of these concepts all in once. So what you see on the left side is how researchers from multiple locations can collaborate and see this physical object, this digital implementation version of this physical object together, while being surrounded by these data sources. So they have the ability to collaborate in virtual reality, but also interact with this information and then see it from different angles and manipulate this information, going again from a lot of data to actually what's really relevant for me, what are the insights, what am I taking out from this? And more, we're seeing how the physical monitors are being replaced with virtual monitors. This reminds me about the work I did for my PhD, in which I look into how to look at medical images that in the past it used to be printed on film in this tile format and then hanged on these light boxes in hospital. And instead, we went to take these images, eliminated film completely, and then just look at these images in a digital format. Big part of XR is the concept of digital twins. There are several players in this space, including the Amazon IoT Twin Maker, working with clients like Siemens and Accenture. Unity has a digital twin technology. One particular case study I'm going to share is the collaboration between NVIDIA and the Omniverse platform for digital twins and BMW. And together they created a concept called the factory of the future. Basically, they took one BMW factory and then completely digitized it. Since then, that happened maybe a year ago, 3 additional BMW factories have been completely digitized. Overall, over 10 million square meters of factory space have been completely digitized, and about 60,000 people plus robots are part of this amazing digital twin. And keep in mind right now, BMW produces a vehicle every minute. So with this digital twin, they are looking to speed out the output, to increase the agility of the business, and then optimize efficiency. This space I'm particularly excited about, the workforce of the future. Everybody is working right now, or most of us are working remotely. And one of the questions is, as the industry and everybody, the world has been disrupted by the pandemic, what does it mean to work effectively remotely? As Bill Gates was saying in his post from December, this kind of Hollywood square type of approach with Zoom and this type of tile layout you have on your screen is not the way to collaborate. It is a temporary surrogate for communication, and you can do a lot of the mundane tasks using this type of interactions, but are you truly able to innovate, to be creative, to run design thinking sessions? We believe that XR can play a role to create these custom interactions for different, for example, ceremonies, part of an agile team, to allow people to, for example, run brainstorming or design thinking meetings, or to do estimates or grooming the backlog, or to run a corporate events like a townhouse announcement. Super excited about the concept of using XR to create hyper-personalized experiences for training. people from all ages, from young people that you see in this to students to basically training for corporate. Some of these images it is seen here. It's almost like these Legos that this kid is able to put together and then also run the simulation to see how these things are working without any concern about getting dirty or catching your fingers among this potentially dangerous, engines, should this have been an actual real prototype. Below, you see somebody doing a chemistry experiment and seeing how these atoms can be recombined into new molecules. And you can run these experiments in the classroom or from the comfort of your own home without being concerned that you mix the wrong ingredients and then maybe explosions will occur or any other types of surprises. Unimmersive is a company who is specialized in providing this type of journeys. For example, to learn anatomy, like the brain, and looking directly at the neurons or the blood vessels. Or if you're listening to history, it's not just reading a book or actually looking at some pictures, but you can actually walk and be immersed in like what it is to actually be in that Colosseum or the Roman Forum, or be there and sitting one of these columns or pillars from the Temple of Venus. As I mentioned, I did my PhD in computer science with a focus on creating this unique visualization and experiences for radiology, soft copy and reading. And we're seeing XR being used very effectively in healthcare beyond and above telemedicine, but with the objective is to decrease trauma, reduce medical costs, but most importantly, it's about improving patient outcomes. And this is because it allows specialists to collaborate from different locations. There are actually patients that have been operated completely remotely with the actual physicians, the surgeon being actually in a different city and location. It also helps to communicate to students the elements of the anatomy or to tell the patient, here's where the problem is. This is the type of procedure that we will be doing for you to alleviate some of those concerns they may have. 66% of the residents recognize that they need more time to train and prepare. And however, this training session can cost thousands of dollars. With VR, you can get this type of safe, repeatable training experiences to help people hone their skills, from students to more experienced surgeon to learn and to operate and to hone their skills. Anywhere from dangerous operations to quality control, we can see XR being used in the manufacturing process, either to augment that experience, looking, for example, at this assembly line configuration, to actually now I have a real product, potentially looking at it in like the digital twin replica of that particular product and looking for quality control. Finance, it's coming out from this idea of what it is to create this type of great experiences focusing on financial well-being. How can I provide these immersive and private experiences? Bank of America has actually enabled tens of thousands of their employees to practice a bunch of these routine and complex tasks associated with client interactions, identifying fraud. What happens, for example, when you have to operate under pressure, since a bank robbery is taking place? So we need to recognize that money and banking is a very vulnerable experience. So having that empathy and immersive training that is being delivered to their staff, it has led to higher level of customer trust and retention. Operated completely remotely with the actual physicians, the surgeon being actually in a different city and location. It also helps to communicate to students the elements of the anatomy, or to tell the patient, here's where the problem is, this is the type of procedure that we will be doing for you, to alleviate some of those concerns they may have. 66% of the residents recognize that they need more time to train and prepare. And however, this training session can cost thousands of dollars. With VR, you can get this type of safe, repeatable training experiences to help people hone their skills, from students to more experienced surgeon, to learn and to operate and to hone their skills. Anywhere from dangerous operations to quality control, we can see XR being used in the manufacturing process, either to augment that experience, looking, for example, at this assembly line configuration, to actually, now I have a real product, potentially looking at it in like the digital twin replica of that particular product, and looking for quality control. Finance, it's coming out from this idea of what it is to create this type of great experiences focusing on financial well-being. How can I provide these immersive and private experiences? Bank of America has actually enabled tens of thousands of their employees to practice a bunch of these routine and complex tasks associated with client interactions, identifying fraud. What happens, for example, when you have to operate under pressure, since a bank robbery is taking place? So we need to recognize that money and banking is a very vulnerable experience. So having that empathy and immersive training that is being delivered to their staff, it has led to higher level of customer trust and retention. We're seeing here an example of how a technician is troubleshooting or repairing or providing maintenance to one of these kind of dangerous panels. And instead of looking on the side in a manual or checking up information on their phone, they can have the entire information projected there, so they can actually troubleshoot the situation faster and avoiding risk and hazards. On the right is an environment in which you simulated an evacuation or emergency preparedness, and you can do that safely and at a fraction of the cost. I love this quote from Dr. Brenner Spiegel from the Health Services Research at Cedars-Sinai. He's saying, XR is like dreaming with your eyes wide open. And I feel like this is such an amazing time that we're living right now. Think about it. The metaverse is being born as we speak right now. This 3D world in which people will interact, socialize, and provide entertainment and learning. Web 3.0, which is the next generation of the internet, is taking place. The 5G technology will allow download speed of up to 10 gigabits per second, enable more devices to be connected, safer. Wi-Fi 6, which is a replacement of the current generation of Wi-Fi, is going to enable 3 times faster speeds. So the future is really now. And we have this opportunity to actually take XR from used to be something that's used primarily for entertainment and gaming, to use in any areas of our life and to impact all these industries. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat and listen to the presentation today. I appreciate the feedback and the comments that took place here. And I'm sharing with you some of the contact information. You can reach out at xr@equilibrium.com or connect with us on Twitter. I really appreciate everybody taking the time to chat with me today. And I wish you all a great rest of your day. Bye.